Hi everybody, hi every spirit, welcome very much to the channel. Esoteric Cloud Surfer here, and today let's talk about a special alignment which is Sun conjuncting Pluto. Thank you very much for watching, your support is greatly appreciated. Leave a like and subscribe, use the links down below, and let's get started. So first, we have Sun in Aquarius, and we have Pluto in Aquarius as well. But Pluto is still kind of retrograde or coming back from retrograde, but since the Sun early Aquarius, the Sun is now 4 or 5 degrees, and the Sun was really conjuncting Pluto when it was like 0, 1, 2 degrees, right? So even if Pluto was retrograde or coming out of retrograde, because the Sun passed through it, it kind of charged our perspective about it. It's not like the Sun charged Pluto, but the Sun or us had more ability to see, act, and express about Pluto in Aquarius, like things like we never had before, right? And not only on your personal life, but also on just you going into the world, interacting with the world and seeing things in the world. Because Pluto in Aquarius things, which we'll talk a little bit later, were already happening in the world, but perhaps you and people around you weren't able to see as much or as clearly those transformations or the precursors, the little steps behind those transformations, right? That doesn't mean it's something bad or you were doing something wrong. I'm just telling you this because you might get surprised with certain events or certain revelations or certain transformations within your life or just in the world. But it can also be normal that you have a sense of familiarity, or that those things were just already happening, you weren't just associating them with certain outcomes, or you just weren't as clear and just aware of it because you were being aware of something else, and that's okay, right? So first, let's understand what Pluto in Aquarius means. Pluto means transformation. It's often associated with death or the god of hell, and in spirituality, death just represents transformation, because you as a spirit, you never really die. Your creations, your vehicles die, because you as a spirit get tired of it and the spaces where you created them, and you want to exist somewhere else, right? So death is actually always really good. Even if somebody dies in like miserable conditions, they're getting out of those miserable conditions. Now, physically speaking, I mean, because you can be in a miserable condition mentally and spiritually, and then your spirit just comes back to the cycle. But eventually, that's a good thing about spirituality and all possibilities, is that eventually you will get out of that cycle. It might take you eons, but spirit is always learning, so eventually you will create a better circumstance for yourself. So death is always good for the spirit, right? Because then it does feel bad and it's painful for us that stay here, quote unquote, and were attached to possibly the departure, right? But Pluto means that transformation, death of something, right? And it's in Aquarius right now. And what does Aquarius mean? Aquarius means fixed air, the ability to be fixed, to be unique, consistent, or stubborn with your own way of thinking, communicating, and analyzing, and also being sociable, while caring and being unique, new, rebellious, and looking for change, even when it's not necessary, you know what I'm saying? And also ruled by Saturn. What I just said was the rule by Uranus part, and then ruled by Saturn as well. So always bringing that newness, that freshness, that logic, that flexibility to structure, networking, associations, infrastructure, as in like real buildings and real stuff that supports you, right? So Aquarius most times bring innovation, or they try to bring innovation to ways to make money, or not just make more money, but like make the same money, but in a more efficient way, in a way where you can have more time to go for your creativity or take care of your family, whatever, right? Bring that innovation. That's why Aquarius is, even though they misunderstand Virgo, they share a lot of those traits of making things more efficient, just for different reasons. And then even though they misunderstand Cancer, they also share those traits of taking care of something, taking care of family, of a group, of an association, or just a mindset that others can share. So Pluto in Aquarius means that there are, and there is already happening, transformations in the world, especially in infrastructure as well, or more specifically, I mean, because Pluto was in Capricorn for a very long time, now shifting into Aquarius, but it's still all about Saturn. It's just like where those things will happen and how you and the world will be aware of them is changing. Also, the way that we value those changes, because when Pluto was in Capricorn, it might look way more scary because it was really the initiation of a new cycle, cardinal Earth, creating new ways to be stable. So there was really a lot of things going down, shutting down, business failing, right? Even whole economies in the world failing. You were forced to really transform your life just to obtain some level of security, not to expand, not to grow, not to have this luxurious life, but in the end of the day, it is. It might not look like it, and that's exactly my point. And now with Pluto in Aquarius, maybe you can look back and look at the present and see the bigger scheme. See, oh, maybe I lost some money or some opportunity to make money, but I strengthened myself and I evolved myself and I improved my business or my routines and patterns. Capricorn, Earth, initiating new things in that aspect. Because if you don't have a good routine or a good business, how you expect to make more money or have a better life, right? So sometimes it's not about making a whole bunch of money or having these connections. It's about just you becoming valuable in the end of the day. Like, there is a lot of things, that nuances that go into that, but Pluto in Capricorn was really forcing everybody else to create new ways to be valuable. Now with Pluto in Aquarius, it's time to be more consistent, be more fixed, be more light, more idiot, coming with more ideas, and test those things out. Don't be so scared, don't be so stuck up, don't be so limited and boundaried by the world or by reality or by necessities. Still be responsible and aware of your limits and boundaries, but it's time to actually try and break them sometimes. Express your uniqueness, express your individuality, and express your value like you really mean it, right? And Pluto in Aquarius will force everybody into that, into being out there, being exposed, being seen. Either you like it or you don't like it, right? It's in the opposition, 180 degrees angle with Leo. Like, Leos can't escape from the world, and the Aquarius can't escape from getting some attention for their own uniqueness and individuality, because that's, in the end of the day, what every true Aquarius really wants. So Pluto in Aquarius, it's really about a mental shift, a mental transformation that then can be paired up or developed upon the transformation that Pluto in Capricorn brought. So expanding those processes, bring a purpose to them, and the main goal is basically to transform yourself and the world around you, or ride the wave of transformations in order to build infrastructure, structure, networking, and associations that can bring and are birthed out of uniqueness, individuality, social efficiency, values, purpose, and building something unique and your own. Because a lot of people are stable and they have some money or a lot of money, but they still complain about their job, they still complain about society, they still have no creativity, they still insecure, they still afraid of losing all that money. They have millions, they're still afraid of losing it. And Pluto in Aquarius is really forcing people to build a internal structure and an external structure that allows for that safety while expanding, that allows for that stability while being your goddamn self, allows to have value, but you can be free and choose how you get that value. So we're building on the Capricorn things, value, safety, structure, networking, association, in order to expand your business or whatever, and then we evolving that while remaining with those values and those things, we evolving into expanding social aspects, expanding your communications, your associations, your idea, your creativity, right? And then the sun in Aquarius right now is bringing more attention, more light, more action, and more expression. You know what I'm saying? So Pluto in Aquarius was already happening, but now we can be more aware of it. So if you are already developing a new world for yourself where you can have your own little shop and express yourself and be your goddamn self and still receive validation, support, and structure, Sun in Aquarius will be like a relief for you because maybe you weren't so sure, maybe the world wasn't showing you the results, maybe people were talking shit about you and whatever you were doing. But with Sun in Aquarius, especially with that focus in uniqueness and individuality, now you can see more clearly the goal, the result, the fruits, that it's worth it. You can see it within yourself. You can take a look at the past and be like, bro, I wasn't so free back then. I wasn't so confident on myself back then. I didn't have my own mind back then. And now I have. Even though maybe you were struggling, maybe you weren't struggling, but you were still feeling struggled or insecure. You know, Pluto in Capricorn goes really deep, like really, really deep. It's even though maybe your business was growing, but you still felt like it wasn't enough, or it wasn't secure enough, or you could have been doing something else. Perhaps you were growing your own business, but you were seeing other opportunities somewhere else. Oh, I could have been making more money there, or I could have a better job there. But now, if you were already building your own new world, you can see the value. You can see things that are really worth fighting for, aka protecting your own mind and establishing your own limits and boundaries in their own world, right? Also, Sun in Aquarius might make others see you in a better light. Because now everybody wants to act, express, see, and be seen in a unique way. So now people are like feeling that they are not so unique, that they just maybe a cog in the machine. And when they see you developing your own world and your own business in your own unique way, they might be like, oh damn, that's something that I like to do, or that's what I want to see the world evolve into. They might not express it to you, they might not even clearly understand that themselves, but their spirit will. And you must trust that. You must trust that spirits, they can go over, and they do go over all those labels and all those weird attachments. That's why sometimes you have people that they hate on you, but that's just because their spirit wants to come closer to you, but they have physical, mental, and emotional biases. So that's their way of reaching to you, or reaching you. It's to throw some hate. But in reality, that's why people say hate is love, because it's just their spirit wants to share spaces with you and kind of imitate you, or just be a part of your team. So Sun in Aquarius is opposing Leo, squaring Taurus and Scorpio. So you might receive no love, physically speaking, in reality, but you are, especially with Pluto in Aquarius, because if you are being the example of Aquarius, people that were suffering or struggling with the transformations, because Pluto goes really deep, now they can see you as an example, as a light, as a sun god, quote unquote, as something that brings some refreshment, some enlightenment, some joy in the hardships, right? Some fun in challenging and breaking certain limits. Now, if you are not building your own world and your own stability where you can be yourself and express yourself, Sun in Aquarius will make you nervous, will make you feel like everybody else is doing too much, everybody else is going out of the rails, everybody else is just not focused on what's real. They're not real men, they're not real women, they don't work hard. And it's not because you are not breaking your back at the construction site or whatever, or you spend your whole days your 50 years in a factory, that you're not working hard, right? It's because especially people that work soft jobs, they work really hard too, but with their mind, or with their social skills, with their heart. So you might not see them with broken backs, but they might have broken hearts and broken minds, and that's way worse than a broken back. You know what I'm saying? Okay, broken back is still bad, but you know what I'm saying? It goes over than that. So but I'm just saying this as an example, because you might know somebody that is opposing this new world, and new world has nothing to do with what governments are trying to do. Certain governments might actually do it in the right way, but most governments, they want to do it in their own way, not in your way or something that is beneficial for the world. And it might be beneficial for the world, but they didn't do it because it was beneficial for the world, it was beneficial for them and for the world as well, and it just follow the same lines. Okay? So if you are not building your own realm, Sun in Aquarius will make you nervous, will make you doubtful, will make you stressed, because you are forced to see the places where you are not being yourself, being logic, unique, creative, but still fixed and consistent. You know? So just accept that the world is changing, has been changing for a very long time. Just now we are more aware of it, so we can take more and clearer actions towards that new reality that you have to build. And this is very, very important. Pluto and Sun in Aquarius, you cannot wait for somebody else. It's not going to be a president from your nation or from your football club. It's not going to be somebody else that will bring the change. Or if they do, you still gotta have your own value in that. You still gotta be a part of it and really associate with it and be really present. Because in the end of the day, Aquarius is the external side of Capricorn and Saturn. So what was being done, perhaps behind closed doors or internally, now it's time to be done with your presence, with your energy right on the spot. And you have to be the main face and the main agent in the change to your world that brings uniqueness and individuality. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and then we'll expand a little bit on this topic on a more specific video, which is what governments or big associations, which are not always bad, how will they use Pluto in Aquarius to change the world in their benefit. And look, you should be doing the same. However you can manage, however you can govern. Maybe you can't even govern your own house. Maybe you're governing the hood. You know what I'm saying? But you should also be using these energies to change the world, to transform yourself to your best benefit, so you can be free and still be stable. So thank you very much for watching. Your support is really appreciated. I wish you the best thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions. A whole bunch of individuality, creativity, and responsibility as well. Believe in yourself, in all possibilities, and always remember that the best way to be is to be your goddamn self, especially with Pluto and Sun in Aquarius. Leave a like and subscribe. Use the links down below to find more of my content and to book services with me, Esoteric Cloud Surfer, surfing out.